So looking at the first writing project there, yeah. So Nietzsche in the cave. So how would he envision it? How would he get out of it? Uh, the cave, as I said before, a prison. What would constitute a prison for Nietzsche? Okay, a prison for Plato and Socrates is basically tradition, right? So people have grown up in the same way over and over again, and so traditions of family, of religion, of society, of culture, that's what the shadows on the wall really are, right? And in the Socratic or Platonic sense. But for Nietzsche, coming some 2,000 years later, living in the modern world is a type of prison for him, right? So then what would the prison look like? So you would want to imagine that or interpret that. And the same thing with getting out of the cave, enlightenment, and going back into the cave. What would we call these things, okay, in the cave through Nietzsche? Second one, B, create a dialogue between Nietzsche, Socrates, and yourself. So this allows you to authorize yourself into the text and speak to both the Nietzsche and Socrates. Okay, so based on what what you've read, what kind of where would be the nexus? Where would be the points of intersection that you could have a conversation with these two writers and authors and philosophers? And what would you talk about? What are the things you want to talk about? How would they talk about the categories you come up with? All right. So obviously, Socrates and Nietzsche would have a different idea of what truth is, right? And then you add what your notion of truth is in as well, and you have a great little dialogue. So you would write that if you were to write it, and maybe you will do this in your midterm, right? This is written in as if it were a play. So nothing with stage directions or anything, right? It would be pure dialogue, but you would script it out where you would have each person speaking individually. So you'd have a space between speakers, you would highlight the speaker's name, etc., etc. Okay. Letter C, design a video game which incorporates Nietzsche's philosophy as a ludic phenomenon or play phenomenon. Yeah, this is a favorite assignment of mine, and students really like doing this, right? So you can take the video game idea and try to work it, designing it as a way of interpreting and analyzing